2, 3. Nice. It's not your first rodeo. And you've got troubles 2 years. So it does bother me.
This is last resort.
Okay. Back her up with that, Tutter. Oh, my life. You'll want my honest opinion, okay? Huh?
I want it to work.
Huh?
I want it to work.
X-ray, sir. Was
She's the most difficult one I've
the last one...
That looks a bit
And
extreme.
there's no scar in there, is there, sir?
I can walk
Have you
down
got-
and she'll come back on her
What,
own
what
without
I'm
me.
trying to... You've had a horrendous 2 years, by the sounds of it. It's if she's kicked
very-
you, put your hand out. No, like that. Okay, so we just arrived, and this is Lindsay. Lindsay. So Tanya's just read me what you messaged. Hello, kiddo. I usually only find out about these horses on the way because I go to so many.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I get
It's just
so
remember.
so she's just and there's quite a lot there.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot in your message. What it didn't say was how long you'd had, honey.
Next month I'd have had her 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, she's always been
did you
difficult.
Okay, so that's the thing. Was she as soon as she came, like she is?
Yeah.
So you have inherited. These are all symptoms of causes before she come here.
Yeah.
Is what you know.
Yeah.
Because sometimes things are because of something that's happened since someone's bought a horse, and you have to try and figure out what's going on here. So you can't put your finger on anything that you think may have caused this.
No.
And was she bought at auction or from a?
No, she was bought. Well, I saw her advertised on the internet.
Oh, okay. So you went to view her.
Yeah. Well, it was a video viewing.
Okay. A video viewing.
Yeah.
So you didn't go and see her?
No.
Put your hand out. No. Like Okay, so you did a video viewing. So you did the video viewing, and then she got delivered.
Yeah.
That was normal. Do you think she was maybe tranquilised a little bit, or
I think so.
did it feel that way to you?
Sedated, yeah.
Sedated a little bit.
Well, considering she arrived so quiet.
Yeah, this is why I'm asking you.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
I go to
so.
so many, and I kind of figure out. So she was really quiet.
When they got you,
Yeah.
well, she was on the phone. The lady was on the phone, and
Yeah.
there was bang, bang, bang in the box, and she asked if I could get hold of some domicedin to give to the other horse because the other horse was kicking off for her to finish the journey. So she may have had something before she got you.
Right. Okay. So she came fairly quiet. Came off. You thought yes, and then when did you notice then things were not quite as?
Well, I just took her up the back and tried lunging her, and
Was this day after or?
I can't remember if it was a day after or 2 days after.
Yeah. So you let her settle in just
Yeah.
and then you started lunging her.
And it just didn't happen. She was
Really?
on her back legs, and I was just dragged across the paddock. And
So you've had a horrendous 2 years by the sounds of it. It's if she's kicked
very,
you.
She's very yeah.
She's kicked you. She's bit. She gets really anxious.
That hole in the wall. Help her kick in the wall.
Yeah. So did she really badly hurt your knee, or was it?
I saw that.
Did you see that on the?
Yeah, I've had a horse with a dent there before.
Yeah, okay.
It's whether it is a prophet's thumb or not, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. It just seems a bit big, that
It
one.
looks a bit big.
Yeah.
But nothing was mentioned about.
That looks a bit
And
extreme.
there's no scar in there, is there?
No,
Okay. Sometimes she'll let you get on. Sometimes you're not getting on, and she's spinning, and she can bug. She can be very unpredictable. With the amount of things going on,
No, it's nothing.
there's one thing I can do today that's going to cure all this. It's going to be me evaluating what I think might help, and give you a program.
So basically, Lindsay would just like to be able to get on sensibly and have a nice little ride.
Yeah, that's what I'd like.
How is she on the ground now after 2 years?
I can walk
Have you
down,
got-
and she'll come back on her
What
own without
I'm
me.
trying. Really? Well, she'll pull away from you.
Oh yeah.
How is the other? Is there how many are kept in here?
I've got 7.
You got 7 horses.
Yeah.
Well, we beat you. We got 9.
Two babies. Ours are two babies.
Did you ride any of the other ones yourself?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've had X-races.
Yeah.
I've had a few of them a bit.
She's an ex-racer.
Honey.
Okay. I didn't know about the X-racer bit.
Right.
Okay, so
I've had-
one of those.
So a thoroughbred.
Yeah,
Thoroughbred?
thoroughbred
Yeah.
X-racer was
She's the most difficult one I've
the
ever
last
had.
one. But you've done well with other X-racers.
Yeah.
Right, okay. You know, because some of them, as you well know, if you've had racehorses, have a terrible start. You know, some do. This getting on thing is dreadful because a lot of them just jump on and they're going, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's the way it's done. They haven't got time. And the way they break them is a little bit quick, and so, you know, it isn't ideal. Hello, checking me out, are you, kiddo? Right.
What area is there for Steve to work in?
All I've got is a round pen.
Oh,
No,
okay, that's perfect.
What have you managed to do with her? 'Cause
Oh, I've tried sort of lunging her, working with her, and her head's up in the air. She's looking the opposite direction. She refuses.
Not listening.
She refuses point blank to engage with me.
and that, it was
My
just,
other horses are grand.
yeah, she's different.
Yeah.
Very.
You'll want my honest opinion, okay?
This
Yeah.
is last resort.
Okay. You know,
My
do you want me to tell you really what I think at the end?
My
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah, definitely,
You know,
yeah,
she might not be for you.
Yeah.
And people, we go some places and they've had a horse for 10 years. They've had a nightmare with that horse for 10 years. They've tried everything. They've had lots of different trainers. The husband's about had enough. He's had enough. It's cost so much money for the... And sometimes I work with the horse and say, he's the wrong horse for you.
Yeah.
You know, and we have to be honest, and that's what I will be, okay?
Yeah.
And back her up 4 paces. 2, 3, 4. Okay.
3. Oh yeah, here we go.
So she won't engage with you at all. So, is this it? You can't get her to come to you. And most of your horses would.
Yeah. She's not interested in me. Previously, she's just got no interest at all. And it's turned around and she's kicked my direction as well.
Your daughter, she reared with her, she's not interested. She's interested in you now. Look at that. Give her a little rub. Rub. Ah.
She's gonna roll,
I
is
would
she?
say you both feel the same about each other. Right? Would you agree with that a little bit? Lindsay, would you say you both feel the same way about each other? There's a lot of water going under the bridge. I'm looking with you the
No,
way
yeah.
you're with her.
Yeah.
Would you
I
know what I mean?
don't trust her.
No, I can
right.
see you don't actually. I can see you don't trust. She's
I-
almost hurt your daughter bad with the rearing, and all of that's pented up.
Yeah.
She's kicked you in the knee.
What I'll try and did you? What happened there? I missed that.
Oh, she's just walking away. I don't trust her. That's all.
Yeah.
If my other horse turned around and walked
See,
away, I wouldn't think
you're
twice.
not trusting her. She knows. These no intent from us. They know virtually what we. Did she jump?
No, she's not afraid to jump.
So, let's just see what she thinks of me. Hey, there we go then. Right then. Okay. Hey, kidder. Hey, kidder. Hey. Now there. She just. What you need to be aware is any forward motion towards you, unrequested forward motion.
One thing she'll deliberately do is stand on your foot.
Will she?
Move into your space and she'll go like that.
Yeah, well, you've got to be onto that.
She's done it so
It's got to be her idea never to do it, so there's got to be nothing in it for her. So if she moves into my space here, once I've done a little bit more with her, I'll back her up a little bit. There's got to be nothing in it for her. So you've got to be aware of that. Okay, well, she feels real sweet to me. Famous last words. No, that was unrequested. Forward move. Well, I've just spent a couple of minutes with her, just touching her and just I've asked her to go back a couple of times just so she knows I'm not going to, you know, some people are a bit too quick at coming in and sending them off. So just saying I'm half okay. Okay, right. So we'll see now. She's giving me 2 eyes there, which I like. Okay. So tell her how good she is. So I'm going to slow things up here. You know, like I'm just going to ask her to move out slowly. Move her out. Only a little bit of pressure when she gives me 1 eye. And I'm going to close her off here. Close her off. Close her off. And then I moved away when she gave me 2 eyes for a second. Close her off. Close her off. Move away as soon as she looked at me with 2 eyes. Tell her how good she is. Close her off. 1 eye. You with what I'm doing here? 1 eye. I'm just putting a little bit, not too much pressure that she can't cope with it. Close her off. And because she considered me then, I'm just going to let it just for a second. Do you notice I'm not clocking constantly? I'm only clocking till she gives me the gait I want. So that stops immediately she moves out. I noticed you were constantly clocking and constantly pressuring. It wasn't suiting her too well. So that was a very quiet way of just, and tell her how good she is. If she moves forward on me, if that foot comes forward, then she's going back 2 times that, yeah? So you've got to be aware of these feet. Tell her how good she is. Okay. Lock her down. Now, are you noticing she won't turn in. She'll only turn in, look. She'll only turn in on that eye. You with what I'm saying here? So she turns in on the right eye. And the left one, we'll keep checking this because these little things mean quite a lot. So 1 eye. And then I stop as soon as she goes, yeah? Now I'm going to close her up. And back off and tell her how good she is. Close up. Okay. Block her down. Block her down. And just like I suspected earlier, and it's really showing up now, that Honey can't turn in when a person's in the left eye. And I noticed with Lindsay, actually, when she was doing the round penning, started to have a feeling about it then. But then I thought, no, I'll probably be able to do it. And I couldn't very easily at all. So, yeah, definitely things need working on to be more accepting out of that left eye. So, right then. Just lower her head a little bit here. Have you ever lowered her head much?
I haven't been able to get her to do it.
Okay. I would do quite a bit of this, if you can, you know, in your stable. Right. So that's feeling quite good to her, that is, to be honest. That's feeling quite good to her. Right, so that's good. Now we'll go the other side and see whether I can do it on the other side of her. You've got to keep your head away. If you're going around like that, keep your head away in case the heads come up. So, okay, let's see if we can. Yes. She's begging for this. She'll start to, you need to like each other. I know what you're getting at here. And she's got to know that you need respect from her, but you'll respect her and show her how to be quiet. Because that's lovely. She's really liking that. Definitely she is. Yes. Right. That's nice, isn't it? That's nice. Right then. So she finds it dead easy this way, this eye. And we'll go on the other eye again. She's begging to come in on this eye. Do you see this? That's the first time she's done that on that eye properly. And I missed that. Did you see what she just thought about doing then? When I said I missed that, guys, if you look at this now, she would have walked to me then, but as she was considering me starting to move towards me, I then eyeballed her because I didn't know she was doing it. So I eyeballed her then and she stopped in her tracks then, but that would have been better if I hadn't have done that. And be aware that she will not turn in when you're going that way. I noticed it a few times when her head's up more, she's not wanting to come in on this eye. Because remember, you've got two horses. Every time you're working with a horse, you've got two. You've got whatever the horse is this side and whatever it is that side. Yeah? All right. And just being quiet in here. Lots of lowering her head. But in a minute, I've got to pick it up again because I've got to do groundwork with her. So she won't, you know. It's a good way to start, this is with her. Just right. So I'm going to start off by backing her off. It might seem a bit weird that I'm going to firm up a little bit with her. That was unrequested towards me. So I'm looking at her feet now. Everything will be about her feet. In the early stages, eventually we can be normal. But in the early stages, she wouldn't have had much actual realistic groundwork done. Last foot, last foot, last foot, last foot, last foot. There. Right. The more, now, what I'm going to do now is see if I can get her head down a little bit. Now, because she's lifting it up, which is what she'll do to start with, because I'm asking some things of her that she's not sure of. This is a little bit high on her, actually. It's too high. No unrequested forward motion. You've got to be on top of that. That's going to help her, because if she can move into your space, you're not really a leader. Unless the difference is we can invite them into our space and we can love on them. But then we need to be able to back them off a little bit. Okay? She licked and chewed. She said, no, how about that foot? You're getting it. You'll get it. You'll get it. So you've got to be able to move them back out of our space. So now, I wouldn't suggest, if you're going to continue with this horse, right, I wouldn't lead her here. You've got to do some things different. That was unrequested forward motion into my space. And you can take that one back as well. I'm going to bump here until I don't care how much I have to bump, eventually you'll just look at it and it'll go back. Okay, so it's early stages. You might have to bump a little bit or wiggle the rope or whatever you've got to do. Tell her how good she is. I can always go back to asking her to drop this head and feel good about it. All right? And she's really getting that now. That's all right. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to stop and I'm going to make sure she stops when I stop. Okay? It was a little bit of a struggle for you when you stopped and pushing her back. It's just, do you know what I mean? You don't want to have to beg her. She's got to be clear that I have my bubble unless I bring her into the bubble. Any questions on what I'm saying? That was an unrequested forward motion. And look how easy this is getting now. Thank you. Thank you. Right, so I'm going to lead her around here. But lead her, I can see where she is. But I don't want her on top of me when I stop. So I'm going to firm up a bit here. Right, you see what I've just done? Ow. Now you can see here in slow motion, I don't hit horses with it. It's just like it's by tail, like a horse has a tail and flicks it if a horse gets too close to it. But remember, you haven't got to do things as quickly as I'm doing. I need to move on from this, getting respect for space, so I do it very, very quickly. If I'm at home, it's much quieter, and I take my time more. So this is a speeded up version, instant, black and white, no shades of grey, so I can move on. I don't want her. She can't trust me one bit if I allow her, and this is not every horse, this is, like you say, all your other horses, getting on great with them. You've come across one that needs something different, and that's why I'm here to try and help you with something different. Agreed? So, because she backed off for me, I'm happy with that. So I haven't done anything. That worked in her favour, didn't it? Okay, so we'll go again. So I've got her on a bit of right, she's a bit close there, so I'll put my hand up. So, and I'm going to stop here. And she stopped immediately, didn't she? I felt that. Can you take that foot back? Hardly any bumping. But I'm looking at her feet and tell her how good she is. Can you feel in a little bit of a change with her? Can you see something?
Yeah, she's definitely understanding you.
Well, no, that was unrequested. Forward motion. So there was nothing in it for her because all that did for her was move her back. But you've got to be consistent with this. Come in here, you'll see the video. Come in here and do a couple of the little things. Don't let her push on you. Don't hold her under the chin because she's pushing on you and it's all just not nice. She's just blown out there. So I've got her on a nice loose rein here. I can see where she is in my peripheral vision. All right, I'm going to step my foot back. She stopped, beautiful. That was just my foot just stepped back slightly. Tell her how good she is. Lower that head again. And just sit here with her for a minute. And I'm going to ask her to lunge in a minute. We'll see how that goes. There. Good. Look at that. Look at your horse. I want her to lunge with quality, not fast or anything like that. You can add speed later. So all I want to start with is just a foot forward and then I'll release her and build it up that I can try and do it with quality. So look, I'm neutral now. This shouldn't mean anything to her. What just happened? What just happened? Did anyone notice it? She came forward with a step. I mean, if it's a little itty bitty, So you've got to say to yourself, whenever she does that to you, welcome it. Think, fantastic that's happened. That's so good because now I can ask her to back up. So the more it happens, the more she realises you control those and you control your space. And that's how they all work out there. You put the feed out there, it's whoever owns that, they move the others off for space, isn't it? Right, okay. So, get her attention. Right, so now I'm going to go from neutral, nothing, Now I'm going to ask her to go, okay? So my arm's going to come out. I'm going to walk here and ask her to just take a foot forward, okay? With a cluck, yeah? Okay, so now, I had a thought there, a thought of forward. Back her up a little bit, tell her how good she is. Now, I'm led her forward a little bit. Stop. Nice. She thought about coming and stopped. Neutral. She went away from my space. She missed it. I always try to play these in slow motion, these little golden nuggets. She's getting it. And I nearly always do. I'm asking her to go forward. She's understanding my forward cue now. But she's also realising that she gives me my space around me. And you can see there she moves off to her left to give me that important space, and bends beautiful in her rib cage here. Her head drops. She starts to put it all together for me in that little moment there. And this is how I'd build things up with her quietly, because she's sensitive, see? And your others are probably not as sensitive. No. So look, neutral. Now I'm going to ask her to go forward. So from neutral, I'm going to just cluck, and she went beautiful. Beautiful. Can you go again? Lovely. Now I'll see whether I can disengage her. There, tell her how good she is. The best things you can do is just come in and spend time doing these little things I'm doing. Changes stuff. You've probably never seen this before, have you? This kind of stuff. It's just true horsemanship is being in charge of them. Whether we ride them on the ground, it's them we're trying to control, isn't it? And space. If we let them in, I see it all the time, knocking people over, pushing them up the walls. Horse can't trust a thing they ask if they're allowed to do it. I'm trying to put these cues in enough that she knows what you'll be asking. Yeah? Now then, what will it be like on the other eye? Remember, this eye is the one she likes to turn in on. So I did it that eye first. But we'll see if she got the same attitude on this side. So I'm going to go from neutral. She should not move if I'm not asking her. Them feet should stay. Like a loose rein, when we sat there on a loose rein. Horse shouldn't move until we pick them reins up, and then they say, right, what's happening? Loose rein should just... Right, so. Okay, so I haven't got her attention there, have I? Right, so now look, from neutral to active. Right, I had a little forward, not coming up on me. And when I stop, beautiful. Oh, and tell her how good she is. And now go from neutral to active. I will lead the way with this. Come in and take the space from her, and just a little bit of this, all right? Okay, right, so look. And then lift the rein to disengage her and stop. And that felt wonderful to me. That felt absolutely wonderful to me. And tell her how good she is. Drop this down. She's leaning and ready to come. So I'll be aware of if that comes forward. Because unrequested forward motion is while she tanks off. It's all unrequested forward. It's the biggest problem in the whole of the world of horses. Unrequested forward motion. If we didn't have it, you'd see how many horses around here? You'd see on a sunny day, if there was no unrequested forward motion, you'd see 100 horses out there. That makes sense. Most people are, they're worried about the unrequested, aren't they? Aren't they? I'm breaking this down into all little bits. In fact, I'll work on the backup first because You want to be able to back her up better than you did. You were she wasn't responding with her feet too well. So, okay. Right, I love that. Stopping lovely for me. Right, so I'm going to put my thumb down, right? I'm going to ask for about 1 second. I'm going to tut, not cluck. I find that's the best. Some people shush, some people say back. I find tutting's the best because it's still a kind of cluck, but it's different. I tut for back. So I'm going to ask normally with a tut, and if she doesn't move her foot back, then I'll go side to side. So it's a bit of uncomfortableness for her, and then quit as soon as she thinks about going back. Because you want this light to go back, not push her. Okay, so I've got my thumb down, look. Ready? Oh, that was good. Because she thought about it. So I didn't have to go side to side. But she's starting, I think, to realise that my relationship is about what them do. It's about her feet. All right, so. See this getting light, see? You were struggling a little bit back. She was kind of a front end heavy with you. Tell her how good she is. Right then. 1. Release. Release, that's beautiful. So I released every time a foot came off the floor. Like that foot there. Easy as that. So this is quiet, nothing's rushed. It's just, there's a saying, especially with a horse like her, the slower you go, the quicker you get there. And sometimes that is the more sedate and slow and understanding. That's lovely. Right, I'm going to see whether I can get her to take a shoulder, to lift the shoulder and take it out, which is a rein, because that's what we ride. When we pick up a bit, left or right, it should equate to the steering. Does that make sense? We're not taught it that way, but that's effectively what you're doing. So this is no different to a rein. So I'm going to try and see whether I can set her weight back and just add one tiny little step, all right? So then I'll do this side. So I would play with this, all right? There. You see where I'm dropping it? You'd be so shocked if you get this really good. The reaches, and then you do it with the bit. You get the, because she will, you've got to do something totally different than what you're doing. 2 years and it ain't working. So I'm giving you totally different stuff to try with her. At the moment, I'm thinking it's 50-50 whether you're going to, it's not worth carrying on and making your life a nightmare. Would you all agree with that? I go so many places. Some it doesn't work. Some I have to tell people, in this situation, you've got a lot of other horses. Your other horses are good. You even take on ex-racers. To deal with ex-racers, would you agree, girls? You've got to know what you're doing. You've done all right with some. So it's not your first rodeo. And you've got troubles 2 years. So it does bother me. It does bother me. I'm giving you some things to try, and if it doesn't work out, that's it. Don't risk. It was never worth the risk, even if you got there in another 2 years' time. It wasn't worth the risk getting hurt, was it? So, agree with that? Yeah. So, could I get on with a horse like this? I think so. As long as physically there's no kissing spines and all of that. So, have you had her physically checked?
Yeah, she's like
physio.
Osteo, teeth, saddle.
So, yeah. No, I don't know if you could quite hear there, but it's very important that we check physically that a horse is okay. I'd had all of the checks done for kissing, all the different things done, and ulcers checked, and everything's fine, which is really important to check. But sometimes we can try and make an excuse for behaviour problems being health related, and they are often, but very often they're not, and we can make an excuse, but all the checks had been done. Okay, right, this I'm going to do the shoulder one more time, then I'm going to disengage her quite a bit. That could be a little bit more dangerous for me, but I feel it's important for you to be able to move her back end around without her getting defensive on you. All right, so we'll go for this. So look, this is my rein. There, did you see it go? What this does, puts her weight on her back end. Because she's so forward thinking and keeps coming in on us, not because we ask her to, because she decides to. She's very front-endy, so to be able to achieve this sets her weight back on her hocks. She has to move. If you get bogged down with that, what I'm showing you now, quit it, because it's not easy what I'm doing. Because, like I say, to do it, I'm having to set her weight back. Right? So here, there. So practice that if it works for you. Okay. Now I'm going to do the disengaging. Now, I'm probably going to do it the other side first. When I disengage her, you see how she keeps wanting to be by me now? All right? Right? You've got to be on top of that, because sometimes, say if your bubble's a metre and you're talking to people and she's come right into your bubble without you knowing it, you're done. It might not mean anything to us, it means the world to her. Okay, so for disengaging, I'm going to go round towards the hind end and I'm going to lift your lead rope, my rope, whatever. I'm going to lift it, okay, because that's what I do in the saddle. I lift for hindquarters. Okay, so tell her how good she is. So I'm going to go to, I'm going to lift and then I'm gone. Do you see a crossover? But in the early stages, you've got to go. You've got to get out of there. Stop. You've got to go. You build up. When you get what you want, you're out of there. That was their release. They quickly realise it's when we go too far. Okay, so I'm going to lift. There, you see it go? I'm gone. Stop. Now there, guys, if you look down at her rear right, she takes it in front of the left and almost stops her front feet, and that's a disengagement. Tell her how good she is. Drop her head a little bit. Look at this girl. She's crying out for this, she is, isn't she? So, okay, lift my hand. Lift my hand. That's not disengaging, that's not disengaging. See, she's more defensive this side. So I'm going to wait till she crosses over. And she did a half. She did a half. In the presence of a human, if you cross now, you cross your legs, what have you got? Can you do anything? You can't run that off, can you? Or, you with me? You lose all your... Right. For a horse, the motor is the back. It's their weapons, their motor, everything. Their power of flight comes mainly from there. So a horse that's a little bit worried, no way do they want to do that. They'd rather do this. That makes sense? These little things are the big things. So she needs to feel confident with you on this side that she doesn't want to turn in on, to be able to cross nicely and not be worried. So again, that needs working on. And those building blocks will all hopefully mean that when you take her out, she's more with you. You're a leader. All riding is leading them from a different elevation. You're still leading them, but from their back. So you've got to have, there's all these holes in her on the ground. They've got to be, so I'm going to try again now, but you didn't, can you notice this time, if she does this, tell her how good she is. This side, straight away. Look, she's giving it nicely. Stop. Back up that one pace, lovely. Tell her how good she is. And this side, no, 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 no. There. And you notice, well done for noticing. She's got to be comfortable doing that, and she can do it physically. She's shown us she can. So I would definitely, I reckon there's going to be about half a dozen I'm only showing you the main ones now, okay? There's more, but I'm showing the ones I think you'll be able to accomplish. And then she'll think differently of you if you do these things I'm doing. Yeah. Not at first, you'll think, well, you know. So, look, you've got to be able to get her attention like I just did. Okay, can we give her 10 minutes? Just let her have a little. So if we go down and put her in the stables and just, it's important to just let them have a moment, really, because she's doing so well now. Yeah. Just before we go, I want you to come in and see how she reacts to you coming in and just stroking her. And I want to see if I can get you to lower her head in here. Okay. Remember, I've got no history with her, so you represent 2 years of you both trying and struggling a little bit. So yeah, if you walk up to her and give her a stroke. Nice, and she's dropping her head. Lovely. Right, go down on your knees there, on your knees, and see if you can just pull this down a little bit, but release it. You got to release when she goes down. Yes, and then again, yes, and then just rub on her nicely. No patting too hard. Look at that. That's better than I thought. How's that look? How's that feel? Huh?
I wanted it to work.
Huh?
I wanted it to work.
Oh, bless you. Pull her towards you a little bit. Just nice and gentle. And just rub her. That's it. Look at that. Look at that. But it's not all like this. She still will need firming up on now. And, you know, like, we be as firm as necessary, but as gentle as possible. I think we'll all have our own idea of what's going on here, but kind of got me a bit, that one. That's brilliant. Look at that. That's better than I thought. Did you think she was going to? Yeah. Take it. Let's just give her a moment now, and then we'll work out what next to do. Lovely. Lovely. Right. Let her just chain. Yeah, she was really nice with you then. I didn't expect that nice a feeling. Yeah. So, yeah, we just give her a break now. Yeah. Right. So we've give Honey a break, which is really important for, I don't know, about 15, 20 minutes. And now we're going to tackle. Absolutely love Honey's look there. It's like she knows she's the star of the show, and she looks so much more at ease there, I think. And Lindsay can then show us how she gets on. She can be very, very busy when getting on and move a lot. We're going to see if we can do that and see where you can have a little ride around, just to see if I can give you any tips at all for helping that, okay? No.
Lindsay just said she does tend to pull back.
Well, this is what I was just going to discuss. I've just said, where do you tack her up? Lindsay said, in the stable. I said, well, we're trying to change as much as we can. The way you do your groundwork, the way you lead her, just generally change in something, else it'll always be. So I said, well, let's put her out here then. Let's tack her. And Lizzie said, well, you can't really, because she'll pull back quite dangerously and break things, which a lot of horses do. So I've said, well, that's no good, because she did it from when you got it, when you got her, and she's done it quite a lot. She's convinced now when she panics and pulls, the pressure on the lead rope, she has to pull that hard then to get a snap release, and then she's got her feet back. Problem is, one day, something could happen and not only hurt the horse with pole damage, but also damage to a person. So I'm going to show Lindsay how to use a safety tie which gradually gets them over the problem. You will never completely cure a pullback horse. I've almost cured some over my time, but one day you'll think that you've cured it. You might tie solid, thinking everything's all right, and one day something will happen and it's their foundation, pullback foundation. They'll be convinced they've got to pull hard again. So once you start using them, you have to keep using them. Right. So now, I'm going to just clip this on solid. If I clip it onto that, if that breaks, there's no benefit. Right then, so I would say about there, right? Okay, you see how that's working? So if she pulls back, that's going to come out. And then all you do is bring it back through. Now I've got 20 foot ones of these, because sometimes when they're pulled back horses, you do it time and time, you keep bringing them back. So you see that now,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
All you got to do
Is wrap that
is just flick that over
a couple of times.
a couple of times,
Yeah,
look.
and then try and pull it.
And now it will come out.
But it's a lot.
And that makes quite a difference, doesn't
Maybe,
it?
yeah, so probably one. But it depends what your rope is,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
See?
You want one? Because everywhere I go, they
Yeah,
always
you
go,
should
have
get
you
one.
got your ties with you? Yeah, they're brilliant. We sell hundreds.
What you do when you've done that up, see whether you can bring her to the middle and see whether you can get her head down. See whether but you've got to release when she starts to drop her neck. Right, so a little bit of pressure, and then release everything. A little bit of pressure there. You've got to release everything when she drops a bit. Don't look in her eyes. There. Now rubber, lovely. Now a bit more. Probably go down your knees a little bit. Yeah. So she gets used to. And a bit more. Just release as soon as she drops a bit. Release. Good. Nice, gentle rubs. Well, that's better than I thought it would be in the stable. Because she's kicked out a few times in the stable, hasn't she?
Do you want this leader?
Yeah. Because you can get rid of this walking away from you. Down nicely. Rubber, no, just gentle. Right, down on the knees and just nice, so that she... How's that feel? You see what I mean? There'll be nothing... And now I would do that now and again and just unclip her. So she doesn't know when... Because that turning away from you, you don't want that. I'm trying to change some things. Look at the look on her face. She just looks nice there. So does that make sense? You go in, you catch her. Every time you're going past, go in, catch her, drop her head, give her up, go away. She's not... That turn away from you and you being something negative will stop. Will slowly dissipate. If it doesn't, again, you've got to think what to do. Now, things might get Western here. Are you okay about doing this?
Yeah.
You know, we need to show her that she can be tied without pulling back.
Yeah.
Okay, so hang on then. So, right, so that's it then. So she gets tied there. And that's it. And just check that they always work. Pull on this to make sure that can go down. We check that works. Yeah? That's very light at the moment. All right, very light. If we turn it round, it's less. In fact, I'm going to try that. Still good? I think that's the one. All right, but obviously you can go over these like this to suit. So she is tied on a solid string. So do you want to groom her and stuff? And if she's going to pull back, you just move out of the way. All right, and let that do its job. A lot when we're picking the feet up, we let them lick that when we pick the feet and stuff like that. But it's... So have you noticed any improvement while I've been here? The little things?
Yeah, definitely.
Lindsay,
Yes.
tell me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right, okay. It's nice to know something's in the right direction.
Yeah.
And we can all keep talking. Because we're all looking at her thinking, oh, she's being good.
Do you often get horses that just sort of... People have had all these issues and then you go and then everything that they've explained that you're not seeing.
I try not to make it happen, but yeah, it does happen. Just rub on her gentle, that's it. With her being a sensitive mare, I wouldn't pat on her. I really wouldn't. Yeah, they might be great for it. I haven't patted her once, have I? I really wouldn't with her. Just change something. Just strokes. Just gentle strokes. That's what a mother does with its foal. They don't pat each other. So I would just stroke on her. You know, really good. Okay, well, I want to see whether she pulls back. So she's going to feel the pressure because I'm going to back her up to it. Are you okay with me doing this?
Yeah.
Where's she going to go? We've got to
Do you want me to close that?
close that door because she might... hang on, let's just pull her here. And then... Okay. Yep, shut that. Right. So if she pulls back now, right, she pulls back, she's going to go that way. Yeah, agreed?
Yeah.
All right then. So she's going to feel the end of that now. All right. Thought she would pull back a bit then. Did you? Because she's feeling the end of it, or?
Maybe when she has the tackle.
No, she's coming forward to it. That's good. She probably knows. We've got to worry about her pulling back. The more that she breaks that, the more you have a pull back horse because she breaks it and she gets her flight back.
Yeah,
So-
it was only about 3 days ago.
Yeah.
She was tied in there and Katie was mucking out around her, putting a net up. And she was on top of it, so she sent her over, asked her to move over.
And she pulled back.
She wasn't happy about that, so she pulled back. She felt the pressure.
And went and smashed it. There is a way I can spook her back if you want to see what happens. It's up to you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah?
That's fine.
Okay. Good girl. She blooming knows. So there's no other way that I could confidently do that unless that was on there. Because she would, as you said, go over and hurt someone. So my suggestion is you do not use anything but that.
Okay, yeah.
Make complete sense. Okay. Right then. Girlie, you're doing so well. Yeah, pull up here. So the fact that she's feeling better there, attacking her up in there and coming over backwards the other day in there, I wouldn't do it in there. Would you agree? And then rub. There you go. And has she been, is that nice for, is that quite nice attacking her? Not moved, has she?
She's been alright.
Yeah. Look at her.
No.
Is she usually that dopey there? Tell me. I mean, I'm feeling...
I've never seen her this dopey.
You've never seen her
I
dopey?
don't see her much.
Look at her. Just nice rubs. That's all you got to do. Can you remember? I know it's hard for you. Will you remember not to pat her too much? Just try for me.
Yeah.
I haven't once patted her, have I? Just stroke it. Look at this.
She's going to sleep.
Look at that. Okay. Well, I think that is wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, in the real world now, if she was mine, I'd have stopped for the day at what I did. That would have been it till tomorrow. I would have, the next day, did a little bit of that, quiet. Then I'd stop at this. That'd be it. That would be it. She hasn't pulled back. Look at her. You've put the tack on. She's all ready. And I'd stop. I'm just saying how I would build it up.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, I'm here for a limited amount of time. We've got to go a bit further. But I'm telling you, you don't have to go. Just do a little bit and then a little bit. Get a good here. You know, when I leave town, that you've got to expect that things will not be quite as magical as this.
Yeah.
It won't be. You have to build up to it, okay? But you do it in stages. Don't go the whole hog. It's where you finish a session that's more important than how you start it, okay? So that's where I'd finish on day 2. So now you're going to bit her up. Look at that. That's it. And then rub on that. Look at this. That's it. That's good. Right then, so I'll have that.
Go out.
Yeah.
I don't think that's tight enough to make you get on.
Okay, well you do your thing what you need to do. Yeah. What? Okay.
Right then.
And just rub on her when you're on. Huh? Now, what I want you to do, right? I want you to just rub on her, because the initial response is to go.
Yeah,
That's the racehorse, okay? So can you quietly get off? How can you do that? Can you quietly get off there? Right?
Is it alright if I go the wrong way?
Yeah, if she lets you.
Go.
Right, now I'm going to walk her around. You can't have that initial. Yeah, that's where you get into trouble.
Yeah.
In. It's half the battle. Right then, so, okay. And now rub on her. That's it. Rub on her, and then give her a rub. Right, and jump off. And jump off. I'm sorry, but you gotta. Right, now rub on her. Right.
You know he's going to repeat this 20
It was in her mind to go, but she didn't go.
Yeah.
Because this is what, again, I would work on this.
Yeah.
It would be a session. So she waits for you.
Yeah.
Got to wait on you and not think, it's not her fault she's been a racehorse. It's, right, so I'm going to take her back around. Okay. Okay. And then I'll tell her how good she is.
Take this away.
You'll be saying, you know, give me a workout. and you can't rub them enough. All right? Can't rub on them enough. Now, there was no thought then.
Good.
There was no thought of walking off. So you could do that for a whole session with your daughter. All right? All right. Don't pat her. You just patted her, didn't you? You did. Right. So how did that feel? Good. Put your foot back in the stirrup now. So I'm going to lead you a little bit. You're just going to rub on her. All right? Have your reins just in case. But, okay, so we're just going to go on a little walk now. And give her a rub. Give her a rub. That's it. Now, when I stop, you're going to feel a natural stop. Now, I'm going to back her up. You're just a passenger, all right? Yeah. So I'm doing exactly the same as on the ground, but there's a rider on. She's got to learn to listen when there's a rider on. So I'm going to back her up here, look, and give her a rub. That's it. And we'll go again. She's got to learn, because she's lost her stop. I'm going to back her up, just rub on her. All right. I want her to know that she listens just as much when a rider's on. Now, give her a rub. So did you feel that? Right? Yes, look. So I'm going to lower her head a little bit. Now, and tell her how good she is. She's got this habit of throwing her head like that, and all she's trying to do is pull her. It's a response that with tight reins, they pull her neck up to get a release for 1 second when they come back. Think of that. You see a lot of ponies with kids do it. They push the neck up, come back, and it releases it for a second. So eventually, hopefully that'll go. You ready then to go for a little walk? And then we'll take it off. Stop. 1, 2, 3. Nice. Nice. Now, she probably doesn't back up very well, does she? No? Well, I would suggest, right, that we use a string around her neck. It's something totally different that you add. We got a string, Tan? Yeah. Right. So we're going to put this. I'm going to start it off. I'll start it off.
Right, okay.
Right. I'm going to put a bit of pressure. You ready?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to release.
Good girl.
Just the second she...
Yeah.
All right? Now that was about 50 pounds then, right? Now, and release.
Good girl.
All right? So I'm going to tie this now. This is something you can practice yourself
Yeah.
on the floor, on the ground. Practice it with me. So you get a really good backing up with the string,
Yeah.
and then you add it. You add it to this once you get it good. So again, look, and then release. Now in a minute, I want you to do it, okay? All I've done is 3 releases for you there. This will help us slow down and everything. I'm just thinking in the future for tossing ahead and stuff. So I want you to pick that up, pull it back and release it when, pull it back and release. You got to release when she goes. How did that feel? Feel nice? And we use these for rating speed and everything with the bit, and then eventually you don't use that. But it'll stop a lot of, right, and again, but pull back, release. Good release. Making sense?
Yeah.
One last time, back her up, tut. Keep the pressure. You got to get her to back. Hold the pressure and then release. If she sticks a bit, it's good. It's good for you because she has to work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you start using that maybe in the future?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's go again. Oh yeah, fast lass. Yeah. She'll think of that. Oh, you know.
Every time we got on board, we would have chosen this. They would absolutely
Oh my God, what a feather in your cap. Really, you know. Right, the count of 3. Back her up with that, Tutter. Oh my life, good. If she finishes on such a good note as this, it's with her feet, send her in. So, and then I'm going to disengage her hindquarters. There. Disengage them. Back her up a bit. Yeah. So, all the time thinking about moving her feet, directing her feet. So I'd be sending her in. And then when I take this off, right, I would ask her to bend a little bit. She might not bend here. I don't want to finish the session with something negative, but if I can just get... See, she thinks this means move. A lot of them do. There. She gave a bit there. And I think that's as much as you'd want to do, innit? Because mentally that's draining for her. What I would say is what will really help, if the handling side of it gets better, the pull backing gets better, the tacking gets better, you know, you round pen work, but I wouldn't do it loose for now. But
Yeah.
if things are in the right direction and you think, do you know what, you're starting to like each other now,
Yeah.
yeah, and you're feeling safer, the next stage, you probably need me or someone back for a visit to do with the riding.
Yeah. Okay.
She doesn't bend. She doesn't. I can tell she doesn't bend. And with the head throwing, and you did say she can go into the bit forward and throw her head. You usually need a martingale. There's things I can show you, but it would have to be a whole session of how to start bending her,
Yeah.
relaxing her mouth, getting a good one rein stop, so that if you're in trouble, you get her out of trouble and yourself out of trouble with a really good one rein stop connected mentally to the feet. You see? So I might be back. Let's
Yeah.
hope
Yeah.
that is the case, and hope you do well.
Yeah.
And I know it's a difficult, you know, it's a difficult road to be on with the ex-racers. So what do you think? A bit more positive?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely feel more positive.
Okay.
I do my best in her own pen with her, and hopefully.
And if it doesn't work out, don't beat yourself up.
No.
There might be someone out there for her.
Yeah.
You know, with your bad hip and everything. Would you agree? You just have to be realistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right then. So that's done. And that was about, I would say, 3.5 hour visit. We've condensed it, I think, into just over an hour. But wasn't there a lot took place there, guys? And I think she was completely frazzled her brain, to be honest. I was talking to her after, she said, you know, but having the video, when this video goes on, Lindsay will be able to watch it and see the differences, and I just hope she does well. You know, I felt some huge changes. I mean, look at her there. I felt some huge changes in Honey. But it's not easy at all. And you've got to remember, it's been 2 years of heartache, really, and trying and expense, just everything. And she's got to think about her daughter, because her daughter almost got hurt several times with Honey. So, you know, you've got all of that as well. So that was the end of the visit. You know, me and Tanya were pretty shot after that, really. But we went and stayed over, because we got a visit the next day. We went and stayed over. I think it was about another 75 miles or something like that. Maybe 100 miles, actually. And then we got to where we'd be doing the next horse. And Tanya had booked a night in a pub. It had good reviews, but it turns out it was a pub that was owned by the Gurkhas. The fight, you know, they fought with England, with the UK in the war, the Gurkhas, and it's like an in type of an Indian restaurant. Oh, and it was lovely, and we got a tiny little bit of what we had that night, and it was absolutely incredible. Tanya, I can't believe you got an Airbnb
With an Indian
with
restaurant.
an Indian restaurant underneath, and this is just the starters.
I know. I
Just
know
the
what you love.
starters.
Right, I've got mine.
What's that, Dad?
Well, I don't really do a main, so I've got onion barges, which I've gave you one of mine. Shish kebab.
Shish kebab
Shish kebab.
and dips.
And that's perfect for me.
Not for me. So Tanya, here's mine. Lamb, korma
With an extra spice.
with spice. Yeah, it doesn't usually come with spice. Naan bread, and that's my.
Some people would say korma. You know, bit
Korma,
weak, but
little
you
bit
do
weak.
ask for extra
Yeah,
spice.
I have korma, but I have
But you
spice
love all
in it.
the coconutty, sweety.
Oh, I love
Because you
coconut.
are a sweet tooth.
I am. Oh, that's made me feel hungry, re-looking at that then. But guys, that's pretty much the end of the video now. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got something from that video. It was, I think it's a cracker again. All the little nuggets that's there. But yeah, guys, if you can remember to subscribe, like, share, comment if you can. And yeah, till the next one, guys, happy trails. Oh, and don't forget, on the 5th of April, Saturday the 5th of April, it's our demonstration, horsemanship demonstration in Essex, Billericay, Barleylands, Billericay. So if you check that on our page anyway, and then message for tickets. Hope to see you there.